from Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City, Iowa. It's a top 10 matchup as Clip Keen presents one of the most storied rivalries in college wrestling, the Hawkeyes and Cowboys. Here come the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Presenting the colors are cadets from the University of Iowa Army ROTC Detachment. Please direct your attention to the flag as we honor the United States of America with the singing of our national anthem, performed by Gigi Bragg.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
What a way to cap off our dual meet schedule here on the Big Ten Network. It is one of the most storied rivalries in all of college wrestling, the Cowboys and the Hawkeyes. Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. So glad to have you with us. Shane Sparks alongside Jim Gibbons. Jim, Oklahoma State, 34 national titles. The Hawkeyes with 24. I mean, this is wrestling excellence.
It really is. You know, you take a look at these two programs, different in so many ways, but so much alike here with their championship cultures. And I tell you what, we're going to see an improved Oklahoma State team, and we already know how good Iowa is.
With Iowa, of course, 125-pounder Spencer Lee. He will look to make history. There have been 4 others that have won 4 individual national championships. It began with Cowboy Pat Smith, of course, Penn State coach Cael Sanderson, Kyle Dake, and also from the Big Ten, Logan Stieber from Ohio State. It's pretty incredible to put this into words, to give it some kind of perspective, a level set. How would you describe it?
Well, he's going to join the elite group of wrestling here. You know, Pat Smith, the first to do it. Cael Sanderson, the undefeated one. Kyle Dake doing it in 4 different weight classes. Logan Stieber, a lot like Spencer Lee, dominant in the top position here. To join that group, I mean, that's just royalty.
Hawkeyes and Cowboys being introduced here inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. An electric atmosphere as always. What a big weekend for wrestling here in Iowa. Of course, the high school state tournament concluding last night, and now here today, Iowa and Oklahoma State. Starting lineups are brought to you by Defense Soap. Defend what you have built. We'll begin this dual meet at 165 pounds with Sheets and Kennedy. We have Tony Cassioppi, the All-American for the Hawkeyes at heavyweight in that first half.
And I tell you what, the back half of the meet, we're going to see, of course, Spencer Lee here, working for his 4th national title. But of course, Dayton Fix here, one of the best, a world silver medalist out here for the Cowboys here, 2-time NCAA runner-up here. And you see the rated wrestlers there, an interesting matchup there between Max Mirren and Victor Voinovich there at 149 as well.
As I mentioned, Oklahoma State, 34 national championships. The Hawkeyes with 24. Two great programs in college wrestling. Oklahoma State individual wrestling champions. They've had 143. Iowa in second with 85 All-Americans. Oklahoma State with 481. The Hawkeyes in second with 352. When you look at the accolades, many times these two programs found atop the list at 1 and 2. There's Patrick Kennedy. Kind of a different feel for him today, Jim. He's not used to starting out at dual meets.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Oklahoma State decided to go ahead and draw it. It ended up at 165. And they come in here pretty serious. You know, they were struggled at the beginning of the year, get their lineup right and just not wrestling the level here. But one thing you can count on is they're going to do the things it takes to become better at tournament time. And they're catching Iowa at a good time for them. And Iowa, we've seen, you know, they've been kind of the best of the rest here as far as the, you know, Penn State only loss is to Penn State. But they've gone out there and wrestled really solidly through and dominated here recently against Nebraska, Michigan. And I would say that these guys are, it's going to be a fun day of wrestling. When you get to this time of year, Shane, your conditioning is there. You're looking forward to these type of things and to have an opportunity to represent these two storied programs. The 20 guys that go out here, pretty confident we're going to see their best.
Great look at Carver Hawkeye Ring. Here's Patrick Kennedy. This matchup at 165. We'll have a pair of 4-time high school state champions. And here comes Patrick Kennedy. This crowd is into it immediately here in Iowa City. Kennedy ranked 7th in the country, 15 and 2. Wyatt Sheets comes in at 12 and 11. He's in his 7th year in that classic orange singlets. Wyatt Sheets from Stillwell, Oklahoma, won 4 state titles. Kennedy from Casson Manorville won 4 Minnesota state championships. And both these teams, Jim, as always, want to get off to a good start.
Yeah, look for Sheets to go ahead and do a lot of elbow control. You know, we saw him. He's had a big win in this arena here in 2020. He was able to go ahead and take out Caleb Young at 157, maybe a little bit more of a natural 57-pounder, but up at 65 this year. And Patrick Kennedy, he's all about forward pressure here. Good, solid, square stance here to come at you, really drive through.
Wyatt Sheets, 3-time national qualifier, had an amazing run in 2021. Wasn't even supposed to be at the tournament, Jim. He was a 33 seed and found a way to get on the podium. Pretty impressive. He was fighting some injuries, found a way to get it done.
Yeah, he's pretty much scheduled for surgery here right after the conference tournament when he didn't qualify, but he made it in. He made it all the way to an All-American spot, 21.
One thing, Jim, in this dual meet that is very interesting, all 10 matchups, nobody has ever wrestled against each other.
Yeah, it's never happened here, and of course these teams go at it every year.
No score, 145 here in this first period with Sheets and Kennedy. Kennedy this season 15 and 2. He's won 3 straight since dropping that match in Madison 4-3 to Dean Hamady of the Badgers.
Yeah, we got an opportunity to see Sheets earlier in the year, Shane, working the Oklahoma State meet here. He didn't really look like the size for 165, but he looks like he's filled out pretty well. Holding position there. Kennedy, again, he likes to go ahead and attack and drift right. Likes to work the head down. And so many of these, this looks like a traditional matchup here where the Iowa guy wants to get on the head and get that forward pressure. And you got to be careful from the Oklahoma State wrestler in space and working off that elbow.
Inside of a minute here in this first period, neither guy with a real threatening attack up to this place in the match. A lot of forehead to forehead, both guys fighting for ties. See how aggressive they get late with 45 to go in the first. Here's a shot by Kennedy, drops his level, keeps that double leg in the Hawkeye, scores 2-0.
Just good job of just posting off that, driving through. Catches Sheets on his rear end there.
And this is where it becomes so critical, Jim. 30 seconds left. We talk about it all the time. Finish that period on top. Keep it 2-0 to the second.
It'd be a lot because Sheets is pretty good in this bottom position here. Working back up to his feet. He covers and peels hands right there. He's running out of that position, and Kennedy goes off the mat.
You got one?
I think they're going to call the one.
John Smith on the corner. He wants the one escape.
I think that was the side judge, Jay Cox, that got Angel Rivera, that head official there. He's looking for guidance from Cox, and Cox didn't think they thought that they were off the mat. That's where he gave the escape.
17 seconds off this restart late in the second period. Sheets works to his feet. Kennedy drives him out of bounds.
It's important for Kennedy, as you mentioned, Shane, to stay in this top position if you can. Drop down is always an option now with less than 9 seconds.
Exactly. Take that stall call if need be.
Set red, don't move. On top green.
If it means finishing the period on top and keeping it 2-0 to the second period.
2.
Ankle pick off the whistle.
Good short stick.
2-0 for Kennedy.
Great job.
John Smith, head coach at Oklahoma State in his 32nd year. He's led the Cowboys to 5 NCAA championships, of course, as a wrestler. Many would say he's the GOAT.
You make a case for his 6 world titles, world and Olympic titles here combined here over a 6-year period. So the man himself, I mean, he's just a huge influence in the sport. Bringing the low single. There you see a nice quick escape there by Sheets.
Riding time at 51 seconds for Kennedy as Sheets escapes. The Cowboy is on the board, 2-1 match. If you're Sheets here, Jim, how do you get to your offense? We saw a nice attack from Kennedy, but we haven't seen a whole lot from Sheets in terms of offense.
Well, I think he likes to work off the elbow tie, so when you see him working, having an elbow, he's going to get to it, and there he goes low off of that shot right there. Classic Oklahoma State low single. He's got the forehead right there in the knee, right? He's going to try to work his left arm back across and see if he can dump him across.
Kennedy has him locked up through the crotch.
You can see his head position right there for Sheets. He's going to go ahead and reach the ankle. Good job by Kennedy going with his leg over the top of the back of the neck of Sheets to be able to get to that stalemate.
Sheets in 2020 was an NWCA second-team All-American. Had a solid career in Stillwater.
Stop. Stalemate. Fingers, guys. You got to let them go.
Stalemate whistle. Here Angel Rivera communicating with the wrestlers. Stay out of the fingers. Quick shot here from Kennedy.
Sheets picks back into it. Now he's trying to cut the corner here on it. Kennedy does have both legs. If he can go ahead and squeeze that fairly tight.
Kennedy looking for that second takedown. Still no takedown awarded. As they continue to scramble. Sheets trying to roll him through.
And he ends up in a little bit better position here with their legs elevated. Now there's danger on Kennedy.
2.
And there's going to be a takedown from Sheets. The Cowboy wins the scramble, and Sheets has his first lead of the match, 3-2. And now he's in position to finish a period on top with 20 to go in the second.
Pretty solid leg wrestler here. He's clinched down there low. Look for him to try to scoot back up on top. He's got that 2-on-1 on that wrist ride right there.
Final seconds in the second period.
Sheets looks up at the clock right there. He's got pretty good vision of what's going on. Take a look at the end of this scramble here, Shane, where he's able to go ahead and get the legs elevated right there above the knee, gets the neutral danger called 2 more seconds, and he was going to get the takedown anyway, and Kennedy concedes, not wanting to go to his back.
You can hear Angel Rivera identifying neutral danger by the color. If it gets to a 3 count, it's 2 takedown. It ultimately did not get to that point.
And all you need is 90-degree angle here. Leg in for Sheets one more time.
And I think it's safe to say, Jim, Sheets with a leg in's not a bad thing. We know where he gets this from.
Yeah, he gets it from his father, probably the best leg rider I ever knew or ever saw here, Mike Sheets from the top position here. And it gives up the reversal, potentially a reversal here. And Kennedy dives out for the escape, so No riding time here as far as that being a factor. It's already down to 0.
3-3 match, 90 seconds to go in this third period. Both wrestlers with a takedown and an escape. And this crowd comes to life in Iowa City.
And both guys have been able to get the shots, but Kennedy with that straight-on double leg that Sheets was able to go ahead and cut the corner on. Now it's conditioning at this point. See who's able to get heavy on each other's heads. There's the straight-on double.
Kennedy tried to drive him through. This time he's able to turn the corner and scores the takedown. 5-3 for the Hawkeye.
Well, great adjustment. He just went a little bit higher that time on his shot. He just went right. You know what, the leg band's right there, right? The stripes up there pretty high with the shot. Great adjustment.
Green top.
Still plenty of time with 55 seconds.
1,
First order
2,
of business for the Cowboys to escape. You heard that drop down count. That got to 3. If it gets to 5, it's a stall call.
1.
Nice work here from Kennedy, Jim.
Yeah, I think early in this sequence here, Sheets looking for a reversal. That's ill-advised roll through for him, and Kennedy holding back there. Kind of a thigh pry, coming up into a spiral ride. Sheets trying to drop his hips and makes the turn.
Gets the escape. 1-point match, and now Sheets dives in right back with a leg attack. He's sucking up a single leg, and he's able to almost get the takedown. Defense from Kennedy. Spectacular.
Catches Sheets, shoelaces flat. Instead of driving across, he's able to go ahead and switch back in at the perfect time to collect the points.
The Hawkeyes strike first at 1-6. What a finish, Jim. What a finish.
Beautiful timing on that scramble there by Patrick Kennedy. Right, this single leg is all but in right there at that point in time. See how he jumps the legs back here. Now at this point right there, at the critical time, he catches Sheets not driving and no forward pressure. It's exactly what you need to do in that situation. Drive back in and hit the switch.
Hawkeye bench loves it. 174 pounds. Dustin Plott ranked 11th in the country for the Cowboys. He's 18-3. Opposite line is Nelson Brands. Brands 5-4 for the Hawkeyes. Man, Jim, I'm still wondering how Sheets didn't get that takedown. It looked like he had him dead to rights. I was getting ready to go into my call with him taking the lead again.
He's just got to continue to have that forward pressure back into those shots, and I think that Kennedy felt free enough, but the timing of that switch right there action was just perfect.
Dustin Plott, two-time NCAA qualifier, was an All-American last March in Detroit. He was 6th. Won his first Big 12 title. He's fun to watch. Wrestled for Matt Serber at Tuttle High School. Two-time Oklahoma State champion. Just a real tough guy. Both these guys, Jim, really physical.
Yeah, and they'll bang on each other's head for quite a while. And I think Plotz likes to attack that left leg of Brands. Look for him to hit it from the free position. He'll also hit it from the elbow tie. You know, and Brands is one of those guys that you know, he's capable of creating offense out there, but he's been better at just holding good position out there and wearing guys out and willing to hammer on their heads.
Nelson in his 5th year. He's a 3-time state champion from Iowa City West. No score. 140 left in this first period. Hard snap there from the Hawkeye.
It is a hard snap, but the thing about it is that he does it from a square stance, and so he's really not in attack mode after he gets all that motion, all that pressure down on his opponent's head. His feet aren't ready to attack. Right there, he comes in and drops in on a shot.
There's a stall call on Plott. So good first period from an action standpoint, keeping the pressure on Plott, getting that stall call.
And that was a
Plott
good
works at 2-on-1.
That was a good shot, Shane, just from the lower level. He did it off of a square stance and just lowered his chest, reached to the leg, and almost got it. Good defense by Plott.
Plott got off to a 10-0 start, won the Southern Scuffle.
That stall Warning really critical early in the match. So
Both guys just staying center of the mats. Collar ties. Just over 30 seconds here in the first period.
Outside, feet, hands, good.
30 seconds.
Movement.
Brand's jumping into that collar tie one more time, and Plot's doing a pretty good job of coming inside. There's another attempt there by Plotz. He's the one that's lowering his level right now.
Short time in the first. Brands with those 4 losses, 3 are 1-point losses. The other one was a 3-1 loss to Rocky Jordan. So in a lot of tight matches, he's in another tight one here this afternoon. There's his uncle, head coach Tom Brands, in his 17th season in Iowa City, that following a stint at Virginia Tech.
Green set, don't move. You got one
Led the
star call
Hawkeyes to
left. On top,
4
Green.
team national titles, most recently in 2021. So Plot starting on bottom. And not much commitment there from Brands in the top position. A quick escape from the Cowboy Plot, 1-0.
Yeah, really good job by Plot getting out. Good control now here. You see him going off that elbow control. Brands jumping back in. Now Plot has the advantage here with the tie. See if he can follow it up. Nelson Brands really hard to get out of position. And saw that, and he's been able to go really tough with some of the best wrestlers in the country.
Yeah, saw him with Mikey Labriola. That was a 1-point loss. And here's Brands with a single leg. Shin whizzer there from Plot to defend. And now Brands able to work up, Jim. He's got a good chance.
Got a real good chance right there. Should collect it.
The officials discuss.
Angel Rivera looking for some help, and it was.
The takedown awarded to Nelson Brands, 2-0.
If Jay Cox wasn't enough, the 14,000 friends in here was able to go ahead and give a call. But I really do believe his feet were in when he got Plot to his rear end.
There's a caution from Brands.
Good quick escape there by Plot.
And we're tied at 2. Just good action there off the whistle from Plotz. Couple of sit-outs and gets the escape. Midway through this second period. Hawkeyes leading at 3-0. Patrick Kennedy with the decision at 165 to start out this dual meet. Spencer Lee, will see him in the second half. In his 26th and final dual meet here inside Carver Hawkeye.
Yeah, Brand's doing a great job of holding position now. Coming right hard to that collar tie with that left hand. And he's been able to get to that leg a few times, and it's really made a difference and really made Plot work to get out of these collar ties.
There's a shot from Plot. Plot now on a single leg. Good defense there from Brands.
Good job of coming to that front corner Nelson there to get out of it. Brands doing a great job of presenting himself in the middle.
Brands with a takedown here in the second period. He'll have choice in the third.
Yeah, let's take a look at the feet of Nelson Brands right here. He's able to get that trip, and Plotz goes way back right there, and those
All right, hey,
feet
Green, you got
clearly
one caution.
in.
Red, you got one star call. Set, don't move. On top,
Jaden
Red.
Ironman. He was so fun to watch. He had so much in the toolbox. Alex Marinelli, the bull kill of Young on hand as well. Quick escape. It's a 1-point match. Pat Lugo in that mix.
So Brands commanding situation here. If you can go ahead and continue to take territory. Remember, Plot has been warned for stalling.
Brands has not been called. And up by 1, still 90 seconds. Long way to go. No time to shut it down. Don't compromise position, but if you're able to build, stay offensive.
And you've seen where Plot has been able to go ahead and attack the right leg, all right, of Brand. But look for him to be able to attack the other side of the body too. He's really going hard. He's a physical guy as well. Again, Brand's just doing a great job of getting to that collar first. That left-handed collar is kind of his pacifier right there. Plot peeling off of it pretty well, but he hasn't been able to lower his level and get to a shot.
Just 50 seconds left. Brand's leading it 3-2. Coming off a win against Joseph Walker of Michigan. Can he make it 2 in a row today?
What Brands is doing really well at this point there, the nice shot there to wave Plot away, but keeping his own balance. He doesn't put in too much pressure. He's got his hands on him. He's working his hands hard, but no forward pressure to get stumbled down on those snaps. So the snaps aren't working.
And he's keeping this thing, Jim, right in the phone booth, center of the mat. Up to the center, keeping territory. Shot from Plot right into an underhook. Now a level change by the Cowboy, defended by Brands. Final seconds. There's a stall call on Brands. And this crowd comes to its feet. Back-to-back decisions for the Hawkeyes. Good start for the Hawkeyes. They lead at 6-0. Still in this first half, four-time All-American Jacob Warner at 197. Wrestling on the Big Ten Network is presented by Cliff Keen Athletic. Wrestle with the best. Remember that day, Jim? Hard to believe. November of 2015, over 42,000. It was fantastic weather, sunshine, and great wrestling between these two storied programs. What a day.
It was a great day for wrestling in the state of Iowa. And, you know, and for these two great programs here. But 1 week later, there was 6 inches of snow.
Look who's back. Abe Assad for the Hawkeyes, ranked 12th in the country, comes in with a record of 14-2. Travis Whitlake for the Cowboys. Whitlake up a couple of weight classes from 165. Won the Southern Scuffle this year. He's won 4 straight since losing to Matt Feinsilver of Michigan. That's when they wrestled the Wolverines down in Arlington in the bout at the ballpark.
Heavy hands.
And I'm sure Hawkeye fans, Jim, happy to see Abe Assad back in that black singlet, towing the Resolute.
Right, he hasn't been in the lineup since that big move that he could have been pinned at in the Wisconsin match. But, you know, been out for a while here. I'm sure that, you say they're glad to see him in there. Whitlake is interesting to me, moving up from 165. A guy that had a lot of talent here, was probably number 3 seed in the country at that weight class, and had some difficulty at the end of the year, but, you know, really solid wrestler. Guy that likes to spend some time in the weight room here, so moving up a couple weight classes is perfect for him, but trying to bring those 165-pound skills up here to the 84-pound weight class.
Back in 2020 at 165 was a Big 12 champ, All-American first team by the NWCA. Followed that up in 2021 with a 4th place finish at the national tournaments, and then last season just had some injuries. But at 16-3, he's back on track here in 2023.
And when you move up a couple weight classes like that, it takes a while to be able to get used to the size of these guys. You think you can go ahead and hit some of those techniques, and it's just a balance thing. And once you learn how to go with the power and get your angles refined on your attacks, you can really expect bigger things from Whitlake here in the latter part of the season.
Fingers, let him go.
120 here in this first period.
Let him go, gentlemen.
Whitlake from Coos Bay, Oregon, wrestled at Marshfield High School, won 4 state titles for his dad, Travis Sr. Of course, Assad from Illinois, wrestled at Glenbard North, 2-time Illinois state champion. 0-0. Tango here at 184. Cowboys leading it, or trailing it rather, 6-0. Iowa striking first. Good level change. He's got that ankle. Reaching and crash for the right ankle.
No control.
Oh, good job by Whitlake as well, just getting out of that position there. Notice how he went right to the hands that were on the far ankle there, kept his balance. And what we've seen here so far from both Iowa wrestlers, Kennedy and now with Whitlake here, you know, you can be 90% taken down, and these guys are going to put some pressure back into you, turn back in and get out.
Just keep fighting positions
Oh,
until the end comes right back at
No
it.
control, gentlemen. No control.
Again, he's in pretty good position, but Whitlake kicks away once again, and it stays 0-0.
Right, but I tell you what, you have to like what you see with Assad here, working off that snap down position there and getting right to the lead leg of Whitlake. Beautiful work there.
Final seconds tick away, and it's a scoreless opening 3 minutes.
Now let's take a look at this second shot. Look what Assad is doing right there. He's getting snapped down, and in the process lowers his level here to about 6 inches off the mat there with his nose and dives right back in on a shot there. That's well done. He's going to score some points if he can keep on doing that.
Set. On top.
Whitlake goes on bottom. Assad was a first-team NWCA All-American back in 2020. Didn't compete the following year, and then last year came back, was 7th at the Big Tens.
Beautiful elevator series there, Shane.
Still green. Still green.
Nice.
2.
And
Reversal.
there is 2 reversal for Whitlake. Doesn't get the quick escape, gets the quick reversal. Now he'll go to work in that top position.
Yeah, working hard, trying to put some weight on the hands of Assad. And notice how he's got hip down there a little bit, but he's coming hard with that spiral ride. You'll try to keep your weight on the hands. He's not off to the side very much there with that, but you can see the right hand coming in on the inside thigh. Hand fighting there. Now Assad has blocked it off. He's going to drop his hips and bring his head up and make the turn.
Assad is on the board. A tally for the Hawkeye, 2-1. Riding time at 23 seconds for Whitlake midway through this second period. After that 7th place finish last March in Lincoln, Assad 1-2 at the national tournaments. And he's been really solid this season.
He has. Now adjustments, Shane, inside the match here, okay? Whitlake has been able to go ahead and experience a couple times now when he comes heavy on the head. If he doesn't move his feet, Assad's going to get in on his legs. Okay, so expect for him to go ahead and moving his feet when he gets that down pressure and see if that opens up anything. It's a great time for Assad, just maybe in that point of indecision, maybe break free and go. There it is, right there. Get to a shot.
But look at the hips from Whitlake. Assad on the shoe tops.
Right, this is the tough part about moving up 2 weights. Can you go ahead and make that work? Because you just got a grip to beat. You got to have your chest up, your hips down.
He breaks the grip.
He scoops the leg as well. He settles back as Assad tries to move back in. Assad gets to a leg.
Assad with the left leg. Shin whizzer, though, from Whitlake. And Assad with 2 seconds in the period scores the takedown. He's up by 1.
Wow, beautiful persistence by Assad. Look at the fight right here. Wow, that little whip right there. I'll tell you what, the technique right there looked like he was wearing an orange singlet there. That's the limp arm right there. The Oklahoma State uses a lot off their single leg finishes there. Back at you.
Takedown with 2 seconds left to take the lead. He'll go on bottom to begin this 3rd period. Gosh, short time scoring. Those are backbreakers.
Yeah, you go back to that situation. Whitlake settled for scooping the leg as opposed to just running around him, continue to run around him, and it was enough for Assad to get back in on the leg.
Now Assad up by a pair. Assad's looked really good on his feet and able to capitalize late in the second, but we've seen a couple other really solid attacks from him today.
Well, maybe it's just what he needed right there, a couple weeks off and really focus on drilling and not hitting the hard wrestling as much, the hard conditioning. You're always going to try to do that, the weightlifting and working the other parts of your body. Obviously, you see his elbow taped up, but, you know, I think that hard drilling is so important this time of year.
There's a counterattack and a re-attack from Whitlake.
He looks better than when he left. As far as that goes, you see his activity level, his feet. He sensed that shot from Whitlake, got his right leg back.
1 minute remaining.
Assad coming off that loss, as you mentioned, Jim, to Tyler Dow being pinned in Madison. His only other loss was 3-2 to Marcus Coleman of Iowa State back here in Iowa City early December. .40 seconds in the 3rd.
Again,
Riding time and on factor.
Just like Nelson Branstein, he's just keeping right there in the middle of that black part of the mat. like you mentioned, the phone booth. Willing to go ahead and beat you in the phone booth, present themselves, control the tie, not run into the edge.
And he has not been hit for stalling. If you're Assad right here, want to circle back in. Half attempt there by Whitlake.
Straight on
Dives
shot.
into the hips. Final 10 seconds. The Hawkeyes winning the close ones to start out this dual meet. Make it 3 in a row. This one from Assad, 4-2. Abe Assad back in the lineup today after a few weeks off, and he gets the W. And here comes Jacob Warner, the 4-time All-American, for the final time inside this arena. Warner 12-4 this season, ranked 12th in the country, and Luke Serber down from heavyweights here at 197, ranked 17th. Serber having a solid year, 17-6. A Big 12 finalist last year at heavyweight, was a 19 seed at heavyweight at the national tournament. Of course, Warner, Jim, a national finalist falling to Max Dean, 4-time All-American, 3 times third of the Big Ten. Last year he was 4th. 87 career victories. He's had a good run.
He has a great run for himself there. You know what? He wants to make another part of it. It's been a rough season for him. You know, he's had some funky losses right there, but now he's back in on a single leg shot. Got that ankle tied to the chest here, coming back up, looking for the sweep. Serber's just unrecognizable at this weight class.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Right.
And Serber kicks away. Those are those things, Jim, they don't show up on the box score. Those are missed opportunities for Warner.
They are, but needs to do what he can to get back in on that. And as far as Serber goes, I mean, you would have to think that he's used to powerful guys, you know, dropping down and wrestling some of that great heavyweights that we had. There's big heavyweights in the Big 12.
Serber, a 3-time Oklahoma State champion, Tuttle High School. Oh, an ankle pick attempt from Warner. No score, 140 in the first. We saw Serber as he fires off his first attack on a single leg. He's got his opportunity.
Yep, he's elbow deep, and now he rocks on the cradle. Scoops up that bottom leg now. He's got the Turk lined up, so.
We saw him, Jim, in that Bedlam duel when he pinned Keegan Moore to win it for the Cowboys at Norman.
Yep.
And he's in good shape right here, up 2-0. And looking to get some near fall points. Trying to break that 45-degree angle.
He doesn't have the leg scooped above the knee, so it's not really at the knee right now. So what he wants to do is try to keep his knees up off the mat.
Action.
Possible. So Serber reaching underneath there, possibly. They call a stalemate there. Wow.
Oklahoma State bench frustrated.
Well, that's pretty much a pinning combination, so you don't really see that very often.
56 seconds off this restart. Riding time over a half a minute for Serber.
Green set. Red top.
Serber third at the Southern Scuffle and looking for a mat return, able to execute it. And there's a sit and escape from Warner.
Great commitment there by Warner here, with making a turn in, getting his hips out, making a turn back the other direction. But he's been able to go ahead and get to that red ankle band leg of Serber a couple times, and that's been the difference in the match. One guy's been able to finish and the other hasn't.
25 seconds. Warner from Tolono, Illinois. Washington High School, 3-time Illinois state champion. He's done a lot of winning. Senior day here in Iowa City. As the first period is in the book. Sean and Denise Warner, Jacob's mom and dad, his grandmother Judy in attendance as well.
Chooses down.
Be the man. Hey.
Serber will go on bottom here in this second period. I believe, Jim, it's Jacob Warner's birthday today.
Oh, really? Is he 24 then, too?
Not sure.
Yep, so.
He's a big Chicago Bear fan. I said, asked him what the Bears should do with the first pick. He said, trade it, add some pieces.
There's
Big sports fan. And this is where he's been really good, Jim. I mean, this is the equalizer, Top Wrestling.
no question about that, Shane. Good call, because he's been the guy in this weight class, and that's how he got to the national finals, was his ability to go ahead and maybe give up a takedown or so, but get on the top.
Work here,
and go
gentlemen,
ahead and
work here
turn
on the edge.
guys. Remember vividly match with Steve Buchanan from Wyoming, was able to go ahead and turn him with this cross arm tilt like he has right there. So that's where he becomes dangerous here. It's great, like you mentioned, a great equalizer.
Been able to ride Serber for the first 40 seconds in this second period. Serber scoring the first takedown.
And that's unique to this weight class.
Set, don't move. Right, green on top.
Not a lot of guys that could go ahead and stay on top the whole time.
Set.
Warner with the hook on the right side.
Looking for
Reaches
that.
across that far elbow.
Now he's totally committed to getting to that far elbow here. Serber's kind of kept it away.
Trying to get those wrists underneath.
He's got
Inside of a minute.
He's got the near wrist. Works off of that now. And just as they come up to the mat there, he basically runs him off there. Gets a new start.
Warner, four-time All-American, was 7th in 2019, first team in 2020, and most recently 4th and 2nd
Red
place
set, don't
finishes.
move. Green top.
It is his birthday today, Jim. Happy birthday to Jacob Warner. I'm sure he loved nothing more than to get a W on Senior Day here in Iowa City.
Hard spiral ride right there, kind of putting a lot of keeping Serber's weight on his hands. Now he's scooping that back leg.
As the claw ride in, now goes back to that elbow, breaks Serber down. Serber trying to build up to a base. But a suffocating ride from Warner here in the second period.
I just don't understand it. Guys are just having a terrible time getting out of these single leg hook situations here where there's no back pressure. Now Serber finds his weight on his hands right there. There's been no changeover, no attempt at this point in time. Now he grabs the near wrist, and you know, the bottom man is responsible for providing some exciting wrestling here, and that's just not being done.
Warner takes riding time over a minute as he rides Serber the Cowboy the entire 2 minutes. Mom and his grandmother are happy. You can tell Sean sweating this one out a little bit.
Yeah. It's like the tennis group. You know, you look at the 4 or 5 people in the tennis booth there, the coaches and the family.
Got to be so nerve-wracking for family. There is locked hands on Serber, so it's going to be another point for Warner.
Well, what they originally wanted Serber to do is keep him and break that advantage time down to below 1 minute and 14. So that's where it's at right now.
John Smith and Chris Perry
looking up at the scoreboard. So I think that during that sequence there may have been some riding time that was...
Because the riding time stops
Let's go.
when the lock hands is called.
Hey, let's go.
So coaches have a couple of words. Everybody back to their respective corners.
These are these 15-second escapes that we always talk about here. Great situation. Warner goes hard. See how the changeover action right there. Gets to his feet. Good lock by Serber.
There's a roll from Warner. Good anticipation from Serber.
3.
They go out of bounds.
Yeah, but that was good work there by Serber in that particular instance to be able to continue to follow.
2-2 match here in this third period.
On top.
Serber 2 seconds away from breaking riding time. And he's able to do that.
I would expect he's going to go ahead. Yeah, there goes ahead, cuts him right there. So Warner with
a couple escapes. His other point was on the locked hand. Serber, the only takedown in this match. He'll lead another one, trailing it by 1 with 1:10 to go in the third.
right now, if you're Serber, you want to go right back to that same shot, right? You have a lot of confidence getting to that leg, right? Don't allow Warner to be able to get to that collar tie too quickly. Hard right collar, beats him to it one more time. So time race for Serber. Now they get back into a scramble situation and see how that ankle's coming out. Boy, there's 3 guys out of the Oklahoma State corner.
They are livid.
Yes.
John Smith, Zach Esposito, and Chris Perry are letting the officials hear it on that potentially dangerous whistle. It was off a Warner shot, but Serber appeared to have the advantage position in the scramble. Just over a half a minute to go in the third. Another tight match in this dual meets. Warner has not been hit with stalling.
Short time. Serber has not got a shot off. There's not been any stall warning. Right?
And there's a stall call on Warner as Serber working on the edge and out of bounds. So 6 seconds left.
You got hit with stalling.
Here comes Serber off the whistle in the underhooks of Warner. Jacob Warner wins his final match inside Carver Hawkeye. The Hawkeyes, they've won 4 close ones. They lead 12-0. Jacob Warner in that black Iowa singlet in front of his family, victorious in Carver Hawkeye. What a beautiful sight, the quad box. It makes its return in 2 weeks. The 2023 Big Ten Championships, March 4th and 5th. Presented by Cliff Keen Athletic, one of the best weekends of the year. Get us to Ann Arbor, Jim.
Yeah, we've got quad box fever, Shane.
At heavyweights, ranked 3rd in the country, Tony Cassioppi for the Hawkeyes. Connor Doucette's for the Cowboys. Tony Cassioppi coming out to some Johnny Cash. Cassioppi coming off losses to Greg Kirkland and Mason Paris. Began the season 16-0. And that was a wild one. His last time out with Mason Paris of Michigan. Paris rallying back to beat the Hawkeye 9-7.
Stay in the hand, fight hard. Be ready to run the corner.
Cassioppi this season, 10 falls.
Left foot stays up.
Fingers, let him. Fingers.
Iowa's won the close ones, Jim. That's been the story.
That's been the story, exactly. That they controlled the ties, and like you've said before, they've just done it in that phone booth set up in that black circle right there in the middle of the mat. They haven't got pushed around. They got pushed down a few times late here. Possibly could have given up some stall points at that point in time, but the bottom line is that they've been the aggressor and have gotten after some good shots.
Be ready to run the corner. You can bump. Hey, you can bump
Cassioppi from Roscoe, Illinois, won a couple of Illinois state titles at Hononegah High School. He's a 3-time All-American in that Iowa singlet. We're scoreless 60 seconds in. Hard snap from Cassioppi. Front headlock.
Good. Wrestle your corner. Here he comes. Good.
You know, so much in wrestling, Shane, is just knowing enough to get back to neutral here. Just
Good. Control his wrist circle.
Just got to just go ahead.
Nice. Pick it up on him now.
Cassioppi knowing that Doucette is probably just going to go ahead and do that. That's a great time to go ahead and really pull him down here and
You don't get
know,
snapped, don't leave.
he's wrestled the two best guys in the country here. Now you come up with a guy that's not as maybe as skilled, but a guy that may be coming on a little bit. You want to get to your offense as quickly as possible.
Doucette, four-time state champion from Comanche High School.
Used to winning.
And coming off a really nice win, he beat Josh Heinzelman of Oklahoma.
Oh,
as Cassiope, classic Tony Cassiope, take down 2-0. But he beat that Sooner in the Bedlam victory a couple days back, avenging a loss to the first Bedlam meeting earlier in the season with Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. Cassiope 2-0, 50 seconds in the first.
Hey, good.
Big Ten championships, Jim. How about heavyweight? Top 4 in the country with Paris, Kirkfleets, Cassiope, and Davison. Not to mention All-American Trent Hilger.
Yeah, and I don't know how that will go. It's safe to assume just on odds that it always seems to change a little bit based on the rankings here, but I don't know if any of those 4 guys should lose their seed. You know,
Action,
they're all good
Gentlemen,
enough to be, you know, hold that seed. If they, you know, somebody that finishes 4th shouldn't fall to 5th.
Both sides, too.
Cassiope with a takedown, riding time over 50 seconds, looking to finish this period on top. He's got Doucette on bottom with 10 seconds to go. Takes riding time over a minute.
Nice takedown here by Cassiope. You see he's going ahead. It's heavy. Just that. See how it gets his ear over there to the rib cage right there. It makes the run for the leg, and then dumps it back the other direction, and then just does a great job of covering. But he's really good footwork by the big man.
See a gash on the
Set, don't move.
bridge of the nose. I love, Jim, that snatch single. You don't get caught underneath, especially at this weight class. You get caught underneath those big guys. That's a bad place to be.
Right, and notice he worked it with the little shoulder block and rotation right there, got his head in the right spot, and did the rest with his feet.
He scoops up the near ankle. Slides in a half Nelson. Cassiope, 25 career falls. As I mentioned, 10 this season. Just pinching that right side. There's a sit from Doucette, but Cassiope stays behind the hips.
Sagging real hard on that right-hand side, then he comes over and breaks on the left arm right there. So hard right here, and he'll reach back over, attack the left arm.
Both men, action. Both men.
Here the official calling both men for action. You call stalling here, Jim?
You know, I don't know who you call it on. Maybe the top man because he's in a parallel position.
Or a stalemate, and that's what Angel Rivera calls. So this is critical off this restart here for Doucette.
Yeah, and what he's looking for is some sort of you know, changeover move where you're going to try to get Cassiope off of your left side of your body and get him onto your right. And in that transition, maybe break hand control, but there's really no movement there.
Cassiope off the whistle, gets
see
that
how,
right side.
You see what Cassiope did? He started left and then moved right into that. All right, so he ended up on a kind of a covering position.
Action.
But once again, now pretty well parallel ride, but there just needs to be a little bit more activity right underneath
Action,
to get that stall call. Yeah, this is pretty much when you have both hands inside of the thigh like that. That's really not a very aggressive ride, right? So not really looking forward to even break the guy down very well. You're following.
Riding time over 3 minutes. It's locked up before the second period sees its conclusion to the third. Cassiope leading at 2-0. Here's the bull, Alex Marinelli, 4-time Big Ten champion, talking with Nelson Brands. Nelson Brands defeating Dustin Plott of Oklahoma State. That's a good win for Nelson Brands heading into Big Tens.
It certainly is. Plott, All-American, climbed the ladder last year. So And he never came close to really getting his offense off. I mean, that's what you've seen from Nelson the last few weeks, is that even some of the best wrestlers in the country have had difficulty with him, and he's becoming that tough out. Now it's turning it into beating some pretty good wrestlers.
You got it.
So you see Doucette basically doing the same thing that Cassiope was doing to him, at double
Action.
ride.
But he's pretty much down 3-0 as the riding time is locked up.
Yeah, he's not going to get much advantage here. If you can't turn Cassiope here, you may want to go to your feet, but
Trying to rock him back. Now Cassiope to his feet, and the Hawkeye escapes. Now, of course, Jim, with 60 seconds left, the reality is against a guy like Cassiope, he needs something big.
yeah, and I don't think Cassiope's really in a position that, you know, he's got that inside wrist grab right there, that right arm right there, that right hand is hard on that wrist. Look for Cassiope maybe to go a little bit of a misdirection here. He's going to attack both sides of the body. You know, and if you're Doucette, what do you have? You know, you didn't come all this way up from Oklahoma just not to go ahead and do anything.
Yeah,
Just go
exactly.
bring
Even if
it.
you don't
Yeah.
get the win, I mean, finish
Yeah.
with a takedown, finish with something.
Well, even if you give up a takedown, you're not going to hurt the team at all here. It's 4-0 here. Riding time is locked. What do you have?
We began the duel at 165 pounds. To kick off our second half, it'll be Spencer Lee, the three-time national champion, and his final home duel of his career in that Black Iowa singlets. So Tony Cassiope gets back to his winning ways with the riding time points, 4-0 for Big Tony as he improves to 17-2 on the season. The Hawkeyes get their arms raised in the first 5 matches in this dual meets. 15-0 Iowa. Second half coming up next here on the Big Ten Network. The Hawkeyes' final dual meet before the Big Ten Championships. 5 decisions for Iowa as they lead Oklahoma State 15-0. And taking the mat momentarily, Jim, for the last time inside this arena. Spencer Lee, the 3-time national champion, as he continues his quest for history. And all eyes await the arrival of Spencer Lee, 2-time Hodge Trophy winner, 2020 James A. Sullivan Award winner. He's won 51 straights. Here comes Spencer Lee. You know what? One of the all-time greats. Spencer Lee, 91 victories, 78 of those bonus points. He has won 51 straight.
Ooh, right.
Spencer Lee looking to go home in style. 33 career falls. He cinches this one tight. The crowd wants it. Angel Rivera thought about it.
Good crowd doing all he can, but that was it.
Spencer Lee with the fall. Spencer Lee, 38 of his 92 victories in the first period. Spencer Lee settling in. Whitcraft, he fought it hard for as long as he could, but that was tight. There you see his family, Father Larry, his mother Kathy. Pretty cool moment here in Iowa City, Jim.
And then Spencer, after it was all over with, showing his love for this Carver Hawkeye crowd. They've grown to appreciate his ways, dominant ways in this sport, as he continues his quest for his 4th national title.
So 6 more for the Hawkeyes, who now lead at 21-0. 133 pounds, he's ranked 2nd in the country. 3-time NCAA finalist Dayton Fix from Sand Springs, Oklahoma. And Brody Teske. Teske comes in 6-1. He's only lost to Roman Bravo Young of Penn State. One great to another, Jim, with Spencer Lee and Dayton Fix.
Certainly is some of the best wrestlers we've seen. Dayton Fix, of course, 2-time NCAA runner-up to, actually 3-time NCAA runner-up here, twice to Roman Bravo Young. Exciting matches that have kind of thrilled everybody here with their athletic ability. A world silver medalist, and Teske, a guy here that's giving up the single leg right now. Seen that Fix his arm around the waist there real tight, gonna limp it right out there. That's that little limp arm right there that you see, classic Oklahoma State style in finishing a single leg.
This season now, Dayton Fix, he scored 64 takedowns. He's given up only 1 as they wrestle on the edge. Looking for a good mat return there and out of real estate. Fix, 3-time Big 12 champion. Won 4 Oklahoma State titles at Charles Page High School, 168-0. Won a junior world title in 2017, as you mentioned, Jim. In October of 2021 in Oslo, a world silver medal.
Good, right there, go. Get to your feet.
And a guy also can turn people on top. But seeing where Teske's doing a nice job of battling, kind of staying on his feet right now. Fix committing to a mat return. He likes to go ahead and work into a Turk off that. Now he's coming into a leg ride. Now we've got a situation where Teske grabbing that leg. Kind of a clock burner here, maybe able to get a reversal off this thing. He lets go of the leg. I like that action as he comes back in.
1, 2, 3.
You hear the counts.
4, 5.
And that's going to be a stall call.
Well, the referee focused solely on the fact that Dayton Fix had a hold of the ankle in that situation, but of course it was kind of a little bit more of a scramble because Teske had a hold of his ankle.
Optional start.
So Fix showing optional starts.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Set.
The Cowboy Fix pushes away Teske 2-1.
And it's clearly a caution there on that start there by Teske. That set, jumped out.
Fix, one of those guys, Jim, it's all forward pressure. Very rarely do you see him take a step back.
Well,
he stalks and attacks.
Yeah, he does. And what is unique about him is he could hit that inside trip, and he comes hard with it. He does it from an overhook. He'll do it from an underhook right there. He likes to go ahead and trip that right leg of Teske. Ends up taking a lot of guys from their feet to their back. I'm sure Teske's aware of that. When you got a great inside trip wrestler, you just got to go ahead and circle away from that. Circle to your left here, get your leg back, get your feet moving. It's hard to hit a moving target.
Fix 2-1, 15 seconds here in the first. 2-on-1 from Teske. Half shot there from Fix.
Yeah, Teske working with the 2-on-1, trying to control Fix from the elbow down.
Bad choice.
It's kept him in this match.
Fix with the choice, he'll go on bottom. Brody Teske, 4-time Iowa State champion at 4 different weights. Of course, went to Penn State out of high school, wrestled at Fort Dodge, and then to UNI. Couple-time Big 12 finalist, won it in 2021. Good return from Teske off the whistle.
Oh, yeah, that's a little Gefeller reversal attempt there by casting across, trying to pick up on that bottom leg here.
Still green.
Look for him to post on the hand. As he posts on the hand, he gets a little bit better elevation to be
Still
able to
green.
go ahead and scramble and settle
Still
back.
green.
Teske holding on to that ankle pretty well.
Still green.
Teske,
Still green.
a little bit better position, but look at Fix and that scrambling.
Improve.
Teske still has a hold of the leg, though. Now
One,
he switches
two.
off to the other leg.
3, 4, 5. Stop riding
It's going to be a
time.
stall call here because Teske was not able to get up higher on that. That'll be a stall call. Riding time has been goes down here, but Teske uses it to his advantage and gets around. Angel Rivera's going to stop the match and call stalling.
Good job there in the situation there, Jim. They let them continue to wrestle because it appeared that Fix
Green, you got hit with
would
the
get
stall
the
call there,
escape, so they
Green.
allow him the time to get the escape. But as you mentioned, the riding time stops. So the riding time is at 28 seconds for Fix. It's been a good period for Teske.
Really has been. He stayed with Fix. Done a nice job of scrambling.
1 minute remaining in the period.
And Fix just hit that quad pod stand up here. Now he's just going to go with more standard split the grip. He's
No, it's illegal. It's illegal.
good mat return. Let's see if Fix creates a little more back pressure and comes back over the head.
Trying to reach back with his right arm.
I got
Plenty of
reaction
time.
time,
Teske
bud.
keeps that hook.
He wants to keep his head up in this position. Drop your hips, keep your head up, and keep on moving around.
Still green.
Notice how he's focusing on that
Still
bottom
green.
leg right there. He's got the leg
Two
turked right there.
reversal.
Once that leg was turked here, Teske knew he was out of luck there in that position and gave up the reversal.
With that reversal, Fix leading it 4-1.
1, 2,
Teske
3,
here in short time.
1 neutral.
He gets the escape.
Yeah, good action there by Teske. Got him on the edge there. Split the grip. Keeps himself in the match again. 5 seconds left in the second.
Set.
And we'll take a 4-2 score to the third period. Teske's got the choice. He'll go on bottom.
Crowd hoping he can sense a little electricity here.
both
That
of you have
educated
one
crowd,
stop
was
call,
that
okay? Both of you.
enough to put Dayton
Green
Fix
hold,
into a
set,
little bit of a
red ball.
lower gear? Can Teske go ahead and keep that intensity up in the bottom position and test Fix physically?
Teske off the whistle, works to his feet.
One
Much
neutral.
commitment there from
Right.
Fix as he gives the escape. It's a one-point match here early third period.
It is, and just the body language of Dayton Fix he doesn't look like himself out there right now.
You can't help but think about, Jim, Tony Ramos at 133 and Jordan Oliver of Oklahoma State.
I got a litany of guys and matches I could show you here that falling prey to what this crowd gets involved with. It. Can Teske take advantage of that intensity? Of course, the way the match has been called here, stalling-wise, can he? There's an attempt there, comes back out of it, dives back in, reshot there by Fix.
Good sequence for both guys. Crowd getting into this one.
They are really working hard on. There's Fix there, just being Fix right there.
1, 2 takedown. 1,
He's going to get the
2,
takedown
And he might get a fall here.
4.
as he works up on the body. Fix going to get the takedown. He's got 4 near fall upcoming. But he might be thinking 6. Trying to pin Teske's shoulders to the Resolites.
Got to keep that left leg elevated right there and see if he can go ahead and turn it. Now he scoops that leg up there. Keep that left leg elevated there. Can he go ahead and finish up this turn? He pins a lot of guys in this position.
Same forward. Same situation.
Riding time
Same
over a minute for
situation.
Fix.
Well, you know, Teske sensed a little bit of weakness out there. He got his attacks going, but, you know, the skill of Fix and just the poise was just
Same
too much in that
situation, gentlemen.
situation. And got the pilot light
near
started
fall.
again and pouring on the points.
And the near fall is awarded. Riding time is locked up.
1, 2,
And
3,
Dayton Fix,
4.
he had to work for it, but in the end, gets the 11-3 major decision as he improves to 22-0, heading into the Big 12 championships. Cowboys are on the board. State Farm, a state of success. Spencer Lee finishes his career a perfect 26-0 inside Carver Hawkeye Arena in that black Hawkeye singlets. Family is here to see it. Father Larry and Mother Kathy. Spencer Lee picks up his 92nd win of his career here on the Big Ten Network. Wrestling on the Big Ten Network is presented by Cliff Keen Athletic. Wrestle with the best. There's a young Spencer Lee, Max Mirren, and Jacob Warner, the seniors being recognized here in Iowa City on this Sunday afternoon. Final dual meet for the Hawkeyes before the Big Ten Championships in Ann Arbor in 2 weeks. Of course, we'll have it right here on the Big Ten Network. Real Woods, undefeated, ranked number 2 in the country for the Hawkeyes. And Carter Young from Oklahoma State. Carter Young, Jim's won 7 of 8. He's really turned the corner.
Yeah, he has, but he's going to have to deal with a pretty explosive Real Woods, and Real Woods scoops that leg, and Carter Young looking for an ankle pass right there.
2.
It got to a 2 count. Did the danger call on Carter Young?
See,
No
Real
control,
Woods is
gentlemen.
stopping them as he tries to kick that
Everything
ankle
legal.
pass.
Keep
Now
everything
Young
legal.
getting a little bit of elevation, and
No control,
Woods turning
gentlemen.
back in. I think he's going to be able to get
Nothing
this
yet,
because of
gentlemen.
his.
No,
Oh, they called it a
Neutral.
potentially dangerous. That's a quick one on that one, but I think that was a good call.
Those
Right?
guys were all tied up as we'll restart.
Nobody wants anything bad to happen this
Stop
time of
moving.
year, you know, unnecessarily in the first part of the period there in a scramble.
Real Woods coming to Iowa City from Stanford, where he was a 2-time All-American, 3-time NCAA qualifier, won a couple of Pac-12 titles. Good
Ooh,
attack
I
from
love
Real
that.
Woods.
I really like that shot right there. Hard off that
No
front
control,
headlock.
gentlemen. No control.
Has that leg shelved,
control,
reaching across to
gentlemen.
the far hip. Drives
2,
through and gets the takedown.
You got
Textbook.
2.
That was just sweet.
One.
But just off that front headlock, he got that left leg to step forward and drove across at the perfect angle with a low single. I was showing that to my nephew last night at the state tournament.
When I
Got to
hear
bring that into your repertoire, Colby. Let's go.
Jay, switch.
when I hear you get excited about stuff, when I see your appreciation for that technique, I know it's special.
Still
That
alive
was
here,
well
gentlemen,
done.
at the edge.
Now he's going, Jim, to that classic coffee grinder in the top position.
It's a head lever. You can Google it, all right?
Keep
You
it
Google
legal.
coffee grinder, you're going to be in a Walmart somewhere, all right?
Real Woods has that right wrist, now going to work it back into a hammer lock on the edge.
Let's go.
And we'll come back to the center. Real Woods undefeated this season. 7 of his 12 victories, bonus point wins.
Knees back,
Wrestled
buddy.
at
Knees back.
Montini
Here we go.
Catholic.
Set.
4-time finalist at the Illinois State Tournament, captured 3 crowns, also part of a couple team titles for the Broncos.
Well, this is the area where Carter Young has struggled the most in his career. We've seen him where he's been pretty good on his feet, and he's just had a difficult time here making the adjustment in the down position.
Action, gentlemen.
And this is the wrong guy at the wrong time to be struggling in the down position with. Real Woods
Red.
tight
Red, you're
with that.
stalling, Red.
We've seen Real
Tight
Woods
waist.
this season in that top position. He's been spectacular, especially in the first period. You see Carter Young, he's got the elbows out, flat on his belly, head on the res light. He's in a tough way with 50 seconds in this first period, riding time over a minute for Woods.
Now he's got that 2-on-1, the cross wrist right there. Notice how he's trying to get the point of the shoulder
Action!
down. Now he switches off to a 2-on-1. Really making the
Red.
bottom man
Red
work. And,
stalling. One green.
Another
You
stall
got called
call,
for
the
stalling,
second
Red.
of the period.
yeah, and that's just
a point.
Yeah, that's just not being able to get your wrist free, and that's just an essential in college wrestling. And with the best guys, can always take advantage of you if you have that, haven't got that figured out.
Carter Young, a 3-time Oklahoma State champion.
Oh,
And he's going to get rolled through inside of 10 seconds. Real Woods will tack on some near fall
Same situation.
late. Big first period for Real Woods. He's up 7-0.
Take a look at his tilt. Notice how he pops him down to that right shoulder right there and
Would you
goes
like red?
over it. So that's
Neutral, red,
been working
neutral.
on that for a while, and he
Check.
ended up getting it. Again, that buys you a lot of parallel riding if you can go ahead and get tilts off of that.
Big period for Real Woods. A takedown, couple stall calls. Final 10
Hey,
seconds.
watch those hands. Watch those
The
hands.
4-point turn, riding time over 2 minutes. That is championship caliber wrestling from Real Woods.
No doubt. And that's what's impressed me about him this season is that this is a guy that can go ahead and has the skills to be able to go ahead and, you know, already looking at him from his ranking, he's right there. But he's a guy that, hey, you know that he great opportunity to compete for an NCAA title.
Ranked number 1 is Andrew Aliras of Northern Colorado. Woods goes 2-on-1.
Center.
It'd be a real disappointment for Carter Young, who's really solid on his feet, not to get anything off, not even to get a shot where you can just feel a leg. But this is what I like, what I see from Woods this season is how he's been able to hold leads. What we've seen from Iowa so far, they stayed in the middle.
50
Lowers
seconds
his
to
level.
go in the second.
Yeah, he lowers his level. Sometimes he even just slaps his hands on the mat here, tries to get the guy to react to it. Really keeping the guy off balance with his
Center.
fakes right there, good fakes right there, getting Young to react to that. And then again, what we've seen here throughout this match is that the Iowa wrestlers are heavy with the hands, but they're not leaning into the guys too hard.
There's a shot from Young right into the chest of Woods.
Feel it! Feel this! Stay on!
Now down to 15 seconds left of the period, and back to the center. And Young, Jim, in his last month, he's beaten Cale Happel of Northern Iowa, Casey Swiderski of Iowa State, big win against Alan Hart of Missouri, recently Moshe Schwartz against Oklahoma. I mean, he's been really wrestling at a high level this last month.
But that just tells you exactly what you're talking about. There are levels. And Real Woods is at a pretty high level.
No score to close the second.
Your choice. Iowa, your choice.
Get him a
3
pillow.
down.
Of course, that's Terry Brand's quotes.
Red,
Get
you
him a
got 2
pillow.
star
There's
calls.
Terry
Green, set, don't
Brands.
move.
Oh,
Red on
World
top.
champion, Olympic medalist. Get him a pillow. One of my other favorite Terry lines is, he doesn't like tough
Get in there.
wrestling. You guys
Get in
don't
the
like
whistle,
tough
okay?
wrestling.
can you imagine
Get in there,
if
we'll
Terry
wait.
Brands was a hall monitor
Green set.
at high school or junior high? He would have every inch of that patrolled.
Woods starting this third period in the bottom position. Works to his feet
Fingers. Hands.
and gets
One
the
neutral.
escape. I got to get one of those shirts. I like that. Get him a pillow.
Gotta go to him!
I wonder where he got that from. I'll have to ask him.
Center, gentlemen, center. Working center.
90 seconds left in this third period. Woods in line for a major decision to be his third of the year.
Really up to Young at this point in time. If you got anything in the tank, if you got anything, you know, what's your offense right there? Nice little drag right there to it. Reacted to very well by Woods. That's what Young likes to do, is hit that little drag there to a single leg.
Woods just showing how strong he is. I mean,
Yeah.
Carter Young really unable to generate any kind of substantial offense. Real Woods.
He's controlling the tie. He's controlling the spacing between the two athletes. Right there.
Stay center, gentlemen.
Be the #1 seed at the Big Tens at 141. Riding time is secured.
Right there. That little move right there, just to drop down like that, lower his level, just gets guys off balance.
The other thing with Woods, he's very offensive, but he is super, super stingy and tough to score on defensively.
Yeah. Good reactions there by Woods. We'll see if he's committed to scoring here. Short time.
No! Red!
Just keeps him in that chest lock position. And he gets a takedown with 1 second left for the 11-0 decision. Real Woods, a winner today, 13-0 in the Big Ten Championships, dropping down the hammer in Iowa City. £149 is next. We are waiting for Max Mirren, one of 3 Iowa seniors in the lineup today to wrestle here inside Carver Hawkeye for the final time. Here's Max Mirren, busted up face and all. Max Mirren 16-3 this season. Victor Voinovich for the Cowboys, 14-7, ranked 20th in the country. Mirren tells the Resolite ranked 6th in the nation. Max Mirren, 4-time NCAA qualifier, was first-team All-American in 2020. Of course, did not have a tournament. In his 3 tournament appearances, Jim, 3 times a round of 12 guy. You know where he wants to finish.
Well, he wants to do it in the championship round here. Voinovich on a nice little left-handed shot right there. He's got an opportunity to cut across. Mirren slides over to that ankle, and Voinovich switches off to a double. He should be able to get this if he can knock him onto his rear. But tell you what, great job by Mirren. And he gives up the mat return there for the points, but that was a well-executed high-crotch switch to a double.
Yeah, Voinovich just stayed right with it. They went round and round, made that adjustment. And Voinovich leading it 2-0.
Center, gentlemen, center,
match.
center.
Voinovich, a redshirt freshman.
And that's what you just like to see from your young guys. You know, you go out there and just execute your technique. You need to drill on this thing the whole time, and not threatened by this environment, going up against a multi-year senior like Mirren, and then all of a sudden you're in a match and you're having fun and doing what you're supposed to do out here, trying to make this thing a rivalry.
Voinovich, highly recruited out of Brecksville High School in Ohio, won a couple of Ohio State titles.
Look for Mirren to get this little answering takedown here. He likes to go ahead and hard with those snaps and run to his right.
It's coming, be ready.
Halfway through this first period, a takedown the difference for Voinovich.
Good, you got it.
Nice job of stretching him out right here. Nice, like I said, run to the right. Good job of squaring up by Voinovich.
Double unders here for Mirren.
Pulling him back down. Going really hard and tight on those elbows, or Voinovich, normally Mirren gets out of that.
Cellmate, gentlemen, neutral.
Talking to Hawkeye coach Ryan Morningstar before this dual meet, and I asked him about his appreciation for Max Mirren. He said, no matter what, if he doesn't feel good, whatever the situation, you get 100% out of him every single day. I mean, he is a high motor, super physical.
Well, he's
One
just
of those guys, Jimmy, makes it miserable.
Well, he makes it miserable, but he's a joyful person. You talk to him personally, and you just say, hey, this guy's having fun doing what he's doing right now. He hasn't had the success he would have liked to have had, and been a really high seed guy going to the Big Ten tournament and all that. But, you know, the guy that we come in contact with all the time, very joyful person. It's really refreshing.
Great sense of humor. Of course, he's got Miss Hiss the Snake. He had a series a couple years back called Good Mirror in America. I mean, he is
Keep him off.
a lot of fun to be around. You're right. I love catching up with him when the opportunities present themselves. Talked to him a little bit earlier today. Here's a shot from Mirren.
Yeah. Straight on double leg. Gets both cheeks on the mat right there. Ends up
2, 3.
good solid. And moves up there off the account. With 7 seconds left in the period here right now. Critical time for Voinovich.
3 unanswered with an escape and a late takedown from Mirren. 3-2 to the seconds.
This drop and drive double here. Just a little freight train right there coming right at you here as it comes to his head right there. Gets both cheeks on that. When you do that with both legs in control, you're going to get the 2 points. There they are.
Mike and Tricia, mom and dad.
Set.
Family here to watch Max Mirren, grandfather in attendance as well.
Nice job of peeling the hands there by Voinovich. There gets the quick escape. So only 13 seconds of advantage time. Let's see if he gets back on that left-handed shot, shooting to that logoed leg of Mirren.
Tied at 3. Mirren from Evansburg, Pennsylvania, Central Cambria High School. Two-time Pennsylvania state champion, of course, part of those Pennsylvania Hawkeyes.
Center! Center!
Mirren career high in bonus point victories this season with 10.
Straight on double and switch off there. Counter shot there by Voinovich. That was read a little bit better there by Voinovich and didn't really get his feet ready to go ahead with that counter shot.
Both guys fighting hard for a tie. 60 seconds in the second.
Center!
Be ready on the edge. Go! Now go!
And right here, if you're playing the edge like this, you don't see it called very much, but you know, the referee shouldn't lose his whistle. You know, just that, getting ready for that off the mat call, whether it's going to be action or you get a push out or continuous, or one guy stalling. But right now in this outer third, you can call.
There's another shot by Mirren. Good defense from Voinovich. 25 seconds into seconds. This is about when Mirren exploded to close the first period.
Well, he's got the inside tie he wants right there. Hey, he's got double inside ties. He's going to go ahead and use it.
Hands gotta move. Get him out of the face.
Mirren's 3 losses this season to Panero Johnson of Iowa State, Yaya Thomas of Northwestern, and Austin Gomez of Wisconsin.
Out of the face.
All 3 explosive, powerful athletes.
Highly ranked guys as we go to the third period. And there is his mother, Tricia. She can barely stand to watch.
That is brutal. It really is.
What an honor, though, to have
Pull him back in a crab
your
right.
sons wrestling in this kind of environment
Yes.
for these programs. Pretty cool stuff.
Go through this process here, make a lot of lifelong friends.
Now get him in.
Right there, Voinovich giving Mirren a taste of his own medicine. Solid mat return.
Yep. It's
Guard him out, Vic.
up to 10 seconds now in his favor. Probably needs another mat return. Mirren hooks the leg right there, but Voinovich stays with him. He's got a lock. Now he drops down at that left leg that he likes to be on. That's okay for Voinovich, and Mirren does a good job of fighting out of that. You notice how much ground that he traveled there, Shane. Once he got out, he slides into second base. You drop your hips, you get yourself out, create some distance, then make the turn.
Shot from Voinovich, but countered by Mirren, who's up by 1, 4-3. Final 60 seconds in this third period.
So,
There's that double leg attempt, but better defense there from Voinovich. He is able to measure that one up and stay square.
yeah, a little anvil in his rear end right there. He's able to ward off that. Now that shot right there, there's a good attempt. And we've got Mirren on the edge. It's a bad visual. I'm not, you know, Mirren had an answering shot at that point in time. Now he gets called for stalling right there just because of the visual.
First stall call on Mirren.
Center!
And that's been made with enough time that if Voinovich can follow this up with some offense, you want to be able to score here, but you also have got to make enough attempts to maybe get the stall warning a complimentary 1 point, take this into overtime. Second shot.
Sprawl from Mirren. Now down to 10 seconds. Time ticking away on Voinovich.
It'll be tough for Voinovich to do it now. Clinched up in the front headlock.
We saw Jacob Warner and Spencer Lee win on senior day. Max Mirren gets it done as well. 4-3 for the Hawkeyes. Senior day here in Iowa City. 3 seniors in the starting lineup, all victorious. Jacob Warner, Spencer Lee showing some love. And Mad Max Merritt, his arm raised in victory. It's all Hawkeyes, 28-4 on the Big Ten Network. It's been all Hawkeyes, 28-4, as Iowa has now beaten Oklahoma State in 3 straight dual meets, the longest stretch since the mid-90s. Final matchup of the afternoons at 157 pounds. Looking forward to this one, Jim. Colby Seabrecht has become a fan favorite here in Iowa City, and Caden Gefeller, the veteran, ranked 9th in the country for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, this is going to be a good match here. I think these guys like their matchup here, and Gefeller is, again, the guy who's been around for a while, made a decision to come back and get in the program and move up weight to 157, and just the Seabrecht has just stayed in matches. You know, we've said this before, his story, the multi-sport athlete that got from Lisbon, Iowa, 20 miles away from here. High school coach Brad Smith that was a national champion here at one of the most successful programs in the country.
Let him go, gentlemen.
Certainly in Iowa. Lisbon High School.
Big wins early on. He pinned Anthony Artalone in the Hawkeyes win against the Quakers.
Nope.
Right here it was Jason Kreiser of Iowa State. Remember that one got loud with a big throw. Will Lewan coming off a win against Michigan. 3-1 and sudden victory for Seabrecht. No score, 55 seconds in.
And Seabrecht has just been that guy that's just kind of just developed and got better in the program and has done a great job of competing in the moment. You know, you never promised a full career here. You show up here early in your career, you never promised the whole way through because somebody else could come along in these great programs and all of a sudden that was your shot. But I think he's making the best of his opportunity. Gefeller, been a journeyman there, been around. While it's got some fantastic moves, particularly from the bottom position. He's won a lot of tight matches. Sometimes it's been a source of frustration for the coaching staff because he just hasn't, you know, got after it here as much as he could, or they think he could. There's a lot of belief in this guy that he's got the ability to help him out this year.
Gefeller in his 6th year. He's out of Oklahoma City, 4-time state champion at Heritage Hall. He's been wrestling well. He's won 4 of 5. 4 straight following a loss to Will Lewan of Michigan. So that's a common opponent.
Be physical with him.
For both these guys. Seabrecht getting the W against the Wolverine. Gefeller falling a little bit short. 50 seconds here in this first period. Gefeller with that underhook on the right side. Gefeller recently becoming a father. Didn't plan on wrestling this season, Jim, and made the decision to come back for this 6th year.
Felt like he had some unfinished business. Boy, he's in a, it may not seem like a, you know, they're obviously Oklahoma State's out of it, but this is just really a must-win situation here for the Cowboys. That pride in their program and all that, and just try not to take another one here in this type of match here with Gefeller, a guy with a lot of experience. And that's what Seabrecht does so well. He rolls through at the critical time, and now all of a sudden he's got Gefeller in a bad way.
Late in this first period, final seconds as Gefeller hanging on for dear life.
Easy.
And it's a scoreless first period. Coming up, Chris Murray leads the Hawkeyes to Evanston to meet the Wildcats. And Chase Audige, Big Ten basketball presented by Jeep. It's next here on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Tip about 20 minutes away. How about Northwestern on the hardwood, Jim? They are rocking it in Evanston. What a great story. Big Ten basketball spectacular. I'll tell you what, earlier today, I was sneaking around a little bit, got to see Caitlin Clark hit a few threes. That was pretty cool.
She's huge. There's 4,000 or 5,000 people that show up every time that above their average attendance. Maybe 8,000 more people show up that follow Caitlin Clark. And
you think about the basketball stars they've had here in men's and women's basketball the last several years. Of course, Spencer Lee and wrestling.
How about football here? Iowa High School Hall of Fame inducted Tristan Wirfs from
Tampa Bay
Buccaneers and Austin Blythe. Two guys that cut their teeth on the wrestling mat state of Iowa, became fantastic NFL football players here, were recognized by the Iowa High School Hall of Fame last night at the state championships. Congratulations.
1:10 second period. Seabrook the quick escape.
Hey, stay in it.
The only tally on the scoreboard.
Fingers, stay down in it. Deep penetrate when you
1
go.
minute remaining in the period.
Into it when he circles.
See where Gefeller was able to go ahead and get on a shot. And I think Seabrook's one of those guys that they sound funny, but you want to attack him from the knees up if you can, if you want to try to get to a double leg here. It seems like anything low, he's got the right balance on the scramble.
So far, Jim, total takedowns in this dual meet.
Let him go.
Iowa with 9, Oklahoma State with 5.
Relax.
Patrick Kennedy, a few for the Hawkeyes.
Believe in it. Beat this one. Beat this
Didn't
one.
Fix a couple for Oklahoma State. He had a good battle with Teskey, but too much talent from Dayton Fix. The only guy to win so far for Oklahoma State. That coming at 133. Iowa's won 8 of 9 matches. And looking to cap it with a win here from Seabrecht at 157.
Solid, solid.
Be interesting to see how Seabrook tries to ride Gefeller in this situation. Gefeller's got a great move. When he hits off a little quad pod stand up, he almost saw Dayton Fix try to hit it as well from the bottom position. He reaches over and grabs the leg and casts his hips across to the opposite side, but it's also something that Seabrook is familiar with his scrambling. Comes up to that quad pod, then reaches across. He gets it on everybody.
And here's Gefeller looking for a reversal. And he's got it, and he takes the lead 2-1. And just like that with the escape 2-2.
But everybody knows that that's coming. This is not
Gotta go early. He'll wait till
a
the
news bulletin here. That's he does to everybody. Seabrook able to answer with a quick escape, so it's going to be
high cross lock.
settled on the feet.
You got it. Go ahead.
Front headlock position there for Gefeller.
Where you want to be, guys.
Wrestling neutral with 120 here in the third. Gefeller had the
Stay different.
underhooks. We will be joined by Spencer Lee after this match before the Senior Day celebrations here inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. Memorable one for the Iowa seniors, all 3 victorious with Spencer Lee, Max Mirren, and Jacob Warner. And it's off to the Big Ten Championships in 2 weeks in Ann Arbor. Shot there from Seabrook. He's got the double unders.
Yeah, he does a good job of forcing those.
And there's a stall call on Gefeller.
Yeah, a little late on the turn to get back in on the
Center,
mat.
gentlemen.
So
On the line.
gets the stall warning against him. Again, he was pretty much pushing on it, so how do you call that one? Wry smile from John Smith in the corner.
Watching
I thought
John
I'd say
Smith,
that. You were
Fingers,
thinking that too,
fingers,
yeah.
I just get so much enjoyment watching him coach.
Yeah, let's see if it's called the other way this time.
25 seconds left in regulation, and they go out of bounds.
Gentlemen, stay center. Okay.
Crowd get behind Seabrecht, trying to will him to a victory.
Stop. Still me. Fingers, gentlemen. We're done with that.
Stalemate with the
Understood. Next
fingers.
time is a stall call. Set.
Everybody sees you.
You hear that? Next time a stall call. Gefeller's been hit once already. So
Nope,
we will see sudden victory for the first time in this dual meet. 2 minutes on the clock.
Let's go, Green. Sudden victory. Red, you got 1 stall call. Set.
Quick shot. And now Gefeller with a single leg.
Seabrook with that length coming up back over the top. He looks like he's got Gefeller's head stuffed right there. Now goes to the mat. Elbow deep around that back of that knee right there. It's a pretty good situation.
Tell Gefeller looking for that stalemate. I think that'd be the best situation for him, and there's that stalemate whistle.
On the line.
Both
On the
guys
line.
quickly
On
back to the line.
Set.
Yeah, Seabrook, Jim, with that length, he's tough to score on.
He really is. He does a good job of, he's wiry, strong in there. He drops his hips the right way, spreads his feet out. He's got to think about some offense in this situation. Both guys
Get your head
been able
down.
to get out fairly quickly. The bottom position, so
Get out of there.
Stay
Underhook
center,
here from
gentlemen. Stay
Gefeller.
center.
He's got an underhook on the right and that right wrist of Siebrecht.
he does. He's waiting for the pressure back, not able to snap him back down.
Be ready on the edge.
Halfway through this sudden victory.
Circle.
Center.
Both guys are
Center!
battering rams into each other.
Seabrook responding pretty well to that center call. You know, Angel Rivera wanting him to get back into the center. Now he tries a diving shot right there. Nothing really very well set up there by Seabrook. So he's kind of strictly in a counter mode.
30 seconds.
Now 30 seconds left. We'll have the tiebreakers if it can't be decided in the next 20 ticks. Shot from Siebrecht, counter from Gefeller,
No
and
control.
they
Danger.
scramble
One,
center of the mat.
2.
Great scrambling and defense from Siebrecht.
Keep that
Down
legal.
10
Keep
seconds.
that legal.
The challenge break comes in from Oklahoma State.
Now he's coming back over the top.
Yep. Hey, red.
So Oklahoma State challenging.
I think they may be challenging the neutral danger.
Yeah, that's
call.
the signal that Coach Smith is showing with taking the hand. You see that up and down vertically. That's the neutral danger call from officials. So Coach Smith talking with Angel Rivera. Chris Perry, two-time national champion, along with Coach Smith.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what he's challenging. He just told that to Jim and I as he walked past us back to his corner.
All right, they go through the scramble here at this stage. All right. You got to identify that there's neutral danger going on. He's 1, 2, and then he didn't give the third swipe.
So the way that works is they identify the color, and then it is a count up to 3. If it reaches that 3 count, it is a takedown.
Yeah.
Another glance.
So you're looking at Angel Rivera right now, the official, as he goes down and he sees it, then he goes, identifies it. 1, 2. I didn't see him make a third count.
Yeah, no question he did not get to a 3 counts.
But you can't start giving a count until you told the wrestler that he's in neutral danger. So I don't really expect much change on this one.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, Jim. I
Yeah.
think it's going to go to the...
You saw Chris Perry, that the assistant coach, that he was the one that had a hold of the brick there. He tossed it out. Both he and John were on the same page.
Here's Angel Rivera with
After
the call.
further review, there is no takedown. We're going to go into tiebreaker.
So no takedown.
Tiebreaker,
So here
gentlemen.
come the tiebreakers. These are not sudden victory. It is 2 30-second tiebreakers wrestled in their entirety. There's John Smith. Yes. Moving on. So Siebrecht will start on bottom. This is where riding time is critical. Riding time has been clear.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
resets.
you're right.
And this, Jim, obviously the urgency. When you're on bottom, you want to find a way to escape.
Well, reversals are huge here, Shane, and both these guys are reversal guys. Okay, so and that's what they'll be looking for right away. They won't be looking for escapes. They'll be
30
looking for
seconds,
reversals.
gentlemen. Set. On top.
So here we go at the first of the 2 30-second tiebreakers. Gefeller, the Cowboy, up to his feet off the whistle. Good return there from Siebrecht. Every second matters right now.
Notice how Seabrook does a good job of coming back over the top right there. Good mat return. And he's riding out there on the left-hand side. That makes a difference. He's straight behind him right now. And right now, Gefeller is thinking escape.
1 neutral.
So he made a good transition off of that reversal work to the escape.
So riding time up to 22 seconds for Siebrecht. Now Gefeller will go on bottom. So if you're Siebrecht right now, you want to ride him for 9 seconds.
Green.
Yeah,
Let's go, Green.
Gefeller looking for coaching from his corner. In some of these situations, you might see a guy cut him. I don't think
Red,
that's
you
going to
got
be the
one
case
stall
with
call.
Gefeller.
Red,
I
you
think
got
he's
one stall call.
going to try to ride him.
No, he's going to try to ride him out the whole period.
And he's been hit for stalling once.
Drops him on the leg.
2, 3, 4.
Now he comes off of that. Right, good job now with the forward mat return. Now roll through there by Seabrook. Now he's down low again.
And you hear that count again.
4.
And Gefeller doing a really nice job being aware of the situation. Works up once again.
Yeah, and now the riding time is 1 second in favor of Gefeller.
You heard that drop down count on a couple occasions. He was well aware of the situation, could hear the counts, and was able to beat it before it reached 5.
Gefeller did a great job right when they're about ready to go off the mat, getting up a little bit higher to
Back up.
create a better visual arm around the waist.
And now he just can't give up a reversal. There's a roll from Seabrook.
1, 2.
Gefeller going to hang on. And he's going to win this one in the first set of tiebreakers. 3-2 for Caden Gefeller. He has now won 5 straights. Takes an 18-5 record of the Big 12 championships. The Hawkeyes win 8 of the 10 matches today at Iowa City. 28-7 the final, as Iowa defeats Oklahoma State for the 3rd straight time.